Ever since e-commerce was born, with Pizza Hut actually going live and starting selling their pizzas online, conversion has been on the top of everyone's head. At Klarna, we've done countless studies, just because it's so important, right? To understand customer behavior, why they make certain decisions, and also understand just why they take the next step in that purchase process. Because if you think about it, the customer wants to convert. It's pretty simple. They come to a store with a pure intent. And the best thing you can do is just to make them able to do that thing. Sometimes they want to add things to the wish list, which some cases is the cart, right? And then you should make that super simple. And when they've come as far down the journey that they actually want to take the last step and make a purchase, make it as easy as possible. E-commerce is booming, and like all of the numbers point in the same direction, like the growth of e-commerce versus traditional retail, that's not going to change anytime soon. So basically what that means is that competition is fierce. Everybody wants a piece of that cake. And when the big players comes in, and when you see this competition just rising and rising and rising, margins is basically what's going to be slashed. There's going to be price wars, and like price is the main competitive tool that all of these players have. And price can make you much more relevant for your audience. And what's super important for you is to retain those margins. If you don't, and you slash them down to a breaking point where you make no money out of the actual sales, well, where's the use in that? That's not how you build a successful long-term business. Abandoned carts is just what it sounds like. How many people actually added something to the basket, but then decided to not continue. They dropped out. This is just a conversion point like anyone else, but a super important one to optimize for. Research shows that 70% of all people who add something to the cart don't complete the purchase. I mean, we know that some people use the cart as a wish list and they save things for later, which they want to come back. And like, there's other reasons for why people drop out. However, it's not the only reason. This is exactly where you're losing sales. So if you can improve that number, you will increase your sales. So here's the bottom line. Retailers are losing sales throughout that checkout process. Research tells us that the three main reasons for why people drop out of that checkout process is number one, hidden costs. And that could be you adding shipping fees. It can be different fees for when you manage the order, whatever it is, there's costs which the customer wasn't expecting, so people are dropping out of that. The second reason is that they're forced to create an account. And that's how you store information about the customer, stuff like that. We see that from the merchant side, but customers see that just as friction. Thirdly, it's just about the process being too long or complex. What's interesting though, is that these are the three main reasons why people drop out, and Klarna can help you with all three. We can make sure that the pricing is super transparent, customers know exactly what they're getting and what they pay. And secondly, we can allow you to have a guest account. We can handle that with modern algorithms and everything you need. Now, thirdly, and kind of the whole thing about Klarna, is how we make the entire purchase experience as smooth as possible. And we just even out all of the bumps along that road, so making your customers able to shop super easily when they're ready for it. They want to convert, you want them to convert, and we make them convert. Our take on it is increasing the entire experience, being more relevant, giving customers freedom to do things they just couldn't do in the past. When you're trying to create a fantastic shopping experience, one of the key things is payments. What we want to do is make sure that that step is as frictionless as it possibly can, because customers, again, they want to convert and we just need to let them. So with smart algorithms, we can identify them. If they're returning customers, we know who they are. We can select the payment methods they really wanted up front. We can allow them to pay for the thing over time in several installments, or maybe they need to try the product before they commit to actually parting ways with their money. All of these things create this fantastic customer experience. And while a lot of these things might sound complex to get in place, etc., it's not. And especially for smaller retailers, being able to compete with the giants of the industry is now possible. And we can help you along that way to make sure that your entire customer journey is perfect. when talking to retailers, we also hear that their business performance increases when they go live with Klarna. Some examples of that is the conversion, which we've talked about so much today, increases 44% for retailers. That's incredible. And the reason for that is because we lower the friction, we remove all of these hurdles which you can have in a traditional checkout, and just make it more modern, more up to date with what people expect. Now we also hear retailers say that they increase the average order value, and it goes up a lot. We hear up to 68% increase in average order value. And again, it's not super surprising because we allow people to split up their payment, be more committed to the purchase they make. At Klarna, we even offer consumers something called buyer's protection. So we take all the risk. If the good isn't what they expected or there's something wrong, then we've got their backs. So they can commit to making that extra purchase, adding that helmet when buying the bike, or adding that little extra to make the average order value pop up. We also hear retailers say that loyalty is improved. And what we mean by that is that the purchase frequency for each customer increases. And what we hear from retailers is that they get 20% increased purchase frequency. That's a lot. And all of these things stacked together means that they're selling way more than they did before going live with Klarna. So to be a bit more specific and not talk about the general numbers, well, Paul Valentine increased their sales by 20% after going live with Klarna. And Gymshark, they improved their average order value by 33%. So to summarize, at Klarna, we make shopping smooth. We ease out all of the bumps in the purchase journey, removing friction and just making the whole experience more pleasant for consumers. To illustrate this point, we brought a delicious Swedish cake. And I am going to show you the difference between a lot of friction and smooth. Well, I mean, it's a cake. That's great. Let's see what this looks like when we remove some of the friction. Beautiful, right? Now, this is a Klarna cake. It's the same cake. It's just so much more pleasant. That's it for today. Today we've been talking about margins and conversion, but there's way more that we can do for you as retailers. Now you can go to klarna.com/knowledge to find market insights, smart life hacks, and easy to use guides to get Klarna services onto your site. I'm Mikael Oldebäck. You've been watching episode 2 of Klarna Deep Dive. A boomling. Can I have one? All right.